Okay, I'm gonna try to do one more. I don't know if I have enough storage to, but it's worth a shot. I don't know how similar this reading is gonna be to the next one. I haven't really done this before, so. Okay, the first card I got from this Trust Your Vibes deck is Share a Breath. The number 13 or 4, which is stability. And accept the gifts of the universe, which is 51, or the number 6. Trying to remember, I'm pretty sure 6 can be frustration, but I want to double check what else we have going here for the number 6. It's also the Lover's card. Has solar energy. Okay, cool. Yeah, and it is also talking about frustration and how we can be nurturing and a caretaker in response. So with this energy of Share a Breath, it's definitely giving like embracing all of the parts of yourself and breathing through it and accepting all of those parts, listening to all of those parts. And with the number 6 with it, it's kind of giving me like the way that we stabilize all parts of ourselves could be through love, self-compassion, compassion for others, problem solving, and I heard somewhere, and I've seen some people do this, like for example, like in an elevator or like a cafe or like places where like that awkwardness can come up, and like that's like a place where like a new part of us can come up because we're kind of like in an intimate space with like a stranger, that like there's times where you can just look up to just kind of like detach from this worry of like, where do I look, what do I do, what do I say, how do I behave. And like with this person looking up, it kind of just feels like they're looking up to like abundance. They're looking up because they have faith that like they have a good heart and they bring a good energy, and that it's a fleeting moment, and that you've already like set out a plan for yourself to nurture yourself, and it's not always for other people to know. If I'm in an elevator and I'm like going out to grab myself a coffee or some food, I don't need to, there's nothing in that interaction that makes me feel like, you know, this person is gonna know that I'm going out to nurture myself. But I am gonna maybe just hold my head up a little bit and put out a good energy of like, hey, like I'm feeling good, you know? And it's like an unspoken trust that like, hey, like, you know, I'm good. I'm a good people, you know, you're safe here with me. And it's like an unspoken, like, I feel safe right now. And it's like reassuring yourself, like, I feel safe right now, even though like you never know what can happen. Like there's so many people in the world, we don't have any control over anyone but ourselves. Okay, I think that's kind of all I have to say. I'm gonna pull from this Rainbow Moon Tarot deck. I'm just picking decks like as I want to shuffle them. By the way, nothing fancy. I feel like you're bringing also like a broad perspective to things. So the Creator is coming out here. So in this deck, I believe the number 3 is the High Priestess. I should just double check in case I'm messing that up with the Hierophant or something. The Empress. Oh, cool, cool. This is the Empress card. I didn't know that. Cool. So 3 can also represent like the fruit of your labor and the fruit of your love and the fruit of your life. As in, like, you're working really hard in what you're creating. Maybe you're creating a safe space for yourself. Maybe you're creating feelings of content or happiness or safety. Yeah, I'm just getting like a lot of like, safe energy. The third eye is in this card as well, which is kind of about like the unseen in life. And like I kind of just mentioned that with this idea of like people can't see what you're going out to do when you're out around people in a day. And there's certain people who we can put trust into to let them know, right? And we make that choice, like, hey, like, I'm gonna let you know that this is what's going on. People can welcome you, people can invite you. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of like a salty energy. And that's like a personal thing, And yeah, like with this like simple analogy of like the awkwardness, which is like an innate tension like between like human beings that you might feel like in an elevator or like talking one-on-one, like going on a smoke break or something. Like the Empress is very much like this energy of like you are the safe person, and people feel that, and that even if they haven't seen everything that you've gone through, they don't know all of the hard work that you put on yourself. It's like people feel it more than anything, that I think you're doing things with good intentions. And yeah, so 3 kind of represents like a relief of this tension when like a third element is there. Okay, cool. Dodo, tread lightly on the earth. I've been thinking about this card a lot recently. There's just something about when you're walking around, like metaphorically, like going about day-to-day things in your mind, or even like literally like the steps that you take when you're walking around, like to have a gentleness to the way that you talk to yourself or the way that you talk to others, or literally in your stride, I think is a green flag for me. There's, it's so weird. What's coming up for me is that, and please like take this as like I'm not a super religious person. I just kind of take things as they pop up into my brain and decide if it's helpful information for me. But I'm remembering like a biblical story, like the one about when Jesus walks on water, and like this idea of like a gentle stride, like you are gentle enough that you could walk on water. You are gentle enough that you are making waves. And those waves are going far. And I'm just getting that from the card, like with the ship in the distance. It's like you're making an impact even from a distance. And also, I think you're just a silly, fun guy. I mean, look at that dude. Come on. Like, that's a silly, fun guy. Like, who wouldn't wanna, like, who couldn't feel that dude was up to some cool shit? Like, seriously. Okay, I'm touching on the decks now. I'm gonna pull from this, but maybe I'll go back. Oh, snap. Okay, well, 2 just kind of slipped out. It's Judgment in reverse and the 9 of Swords in reverse. So Judgment is the number 20. Once again, it's like talking about how there's like 2 energy of like this innate tension. But I think like something powerful is coming out of acknowledging that like these things are inevitable, like the tension, and that uncertainty is inevitable, and just kind of like letting go of control And that, I think, like, helps you come from a place of, like, less judgment towards yourself. I'm gonna check something out real quick. Hold on. Yeah. So, with the Nine of Swords beside it, Nine of Swords very much is a card that looks like you're feeling a lot of unpleasant feelings and you're sitting in them, and like these cards, like with the black background especially, is popping out to me right now, where like I got advice recently that like you can acknowledge the unpleasant feelings and the darkness that you feel and that you're thinking about, or that is maybe the situation that you're in, but don't stay there, you know? And it's like we can have judgmental thoughts and we can want to make impulsive decisions or big decisions, and like reap the rewards of those decisions like instantaneously, but that's like another kind of consequence of like what could potentially be like self-sabotaging behavior at the end of the day, because, you know, is it going to cause more darkness? And based on your impulsivity, a snap judgment moment, that could be just like a small amount of time that you spent deciding that, will more darkness follow? And so like, is it really like the instant gratification that you want at the end of the day, you know? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like that's pretty much the read, but I got a couple more minutes, so I'll just pull one more bird card because I just thought them. Nice. Another silly card, in my opinion. And there's two birds on it, so maybe you are finding out that there are people, more people than just you, that are able to reciprocate, like, and share a breath with you. The blue-footed booby. Cast aside injured pride and cherish the enduring. 100%. That's totally like what we're talking about with judgment and the Nine of Swords. It's like we can cause like this darkness for ourselves based on our injured pride. And, you know, with the Nine of Swords, like, this is not a card that looks to me like it is cherishing much. And whether you're stuck in a place where you're feeling like it's hard to get out of bed, or that, you know, you're unable to sleep, or that you're thinking about these things in your bed, which is supposed to be a place of rest, relaxation, safety, take that as an indication of like, you know, what have I been reciprocating? What have people been mirroring to me? How can I bring more silliness and light into my life? How can I tread more lightly on the earth? You know, like, look at their little feet. They're just waddling around. They're basically dancing. You know, it's like, who are you going to dance with? I think these things are important. And, you know, you can take it literally or you can take it metaphorically. You know, people say it takes two to tango. And people usually have like a really negative connotation to that, but maybe that's from this place of like injured pride, as opposed to, you know, like, I would love to tango with someone. Who am I going to tango with? You know, in a positive way. Like, who am I going to make art with? Who am I going to, who's going to bring me joy, and how can I reciprocate that? So yeah, that's the read. I kind of want to do one more. I don't know though. One more sounds fun though.